A number of years ago, I had a real problem with an addiction. It was an addiction to sugar and Coca-Cola. Now, I thought I had this kind of a little bit under wraps, like I kind of was flying under the radar until one day, my wife went into Walgreens. The lady at the photo booth sees my wife and she says, "Where's your husband been? I haven't seen him in a while." And my wife's like, "What are you talking about?" And the lady says, "Well, he comes in here like every couple of days and grabs a Hostess cupcake and a Coke." And my wife was like, "Oh, he's so busted." Like, she came home and told me this story. I was so embarrassed. The lady at the photo thing made the connection because we had printed photos there for like years, and she knew our family faces, that she and I went together, and made this connection. It was not long before that I actually went to the gas station, went inside, prepaid, got a snack, and forgot to pump the gas and drove off because I had my Coke. I got about a mile down the street and realized that I had not pumped the gas, and turned around and came back and a guy was filling up on my credit card. And I realized that I had a problem. Now, it still took me several more years to really address this because I loved my sweets. I love my Coca-Cola. I finally made this decision a couple of years ago that it was time to stop. I was going to walk to Emmaus, the spiritual retreat. We were on the way to that, and I just had made this commitment to myself. Okay, like while I'm at this walk, I'm not gonna drink any Coke. And I thought it's gonna be so easy. There's probably no Coke there. It's just such like a spiritual experience and retreat. When I got there, there was Coke everywhere. And it hit me, "Matt, you, sir, have to make a decision. Are you going to continue to be obsessed with this and think about any opportunity you can find to get it? Or are you going to finally let this go? This is consuming your thoughts. This is consuming your money. This is consuming your attention. There are other things that need your thoughts and attention other than thinking about how to get your next drink of Coca-Cola or your next Hostess cupcake." It was time to quit. So that October, several years ago, I made the decision to quit. It was about 4 months later that I was at the gym, and there was a guy that I would see periodically. We just talk about just random things, and I said, "Hey, I just wanted you to know that I gave up Coke." And he was like, "What?" And then I could just tell by the look on his face, like I had completely miscommunicated. I completely miscalculated this conversation. I was like, "Coca-Cola, like soft drinks." And he was like, "Oh." He's like, "I'm so relieved. I thought you meant cocaine." Like, you know what? I have a problem. It wasn't that bad of a problem. So that's when I knew it was like, I finally made the right decision with this. You know, the Bible talks about taking every thought captive to Christ. It's in 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 5. And to me, that means that we take our thoughts, and as we think our thoughts, we assess our thoughts. And we hold them up to Christ, and we see if they fit. We see if what we're thinking and what Christ says align. And you know, when we get into addictive behaviors, we get into addictive thought processes, we really need to assess whether or not those thoughts and those behaviors align with Christ. And if there's anything that is taking precedence over the Lord, over His Word, over His people, over our family, then those things have to be put in their proper place. They can either be completely quit, as in the case of like something seriously addictive and illegal, or immoral, or we can look at it and say, you know, there are some things in my life that I just have to put more boundaries on. I have to limit myself because maybe we have an addictive personality. When I took those thoughts captive to Christ and I realized that they just didn't align, that I was spending a lot of my mental energy thinking literally about how to get my next Coke and not make a big deal of it on a credit card statement, not only is that somewhat deceptive, it was also just fostering bad behaviors and bad thought process. So it was time to stop. And what I've found ever since is that my thinking is clearer, spending less money. I can really take that time and concentrate on what is most important. So my question for you is this: are there any things in your life or any people that you spend an inordinate amount of time thinking about, things that consume your thinking? And to take those things and hold them captive to Christ is called metacognition. Let's think about how we think and hold them up to the scriptures and see if they pan out. Now, if you're absolutely obsessed with the Lord and you're thinking about Jesus all day long, I have no problem with that. But there are very few things in that category. And many of us have addictive personalities that we jump from one thing to the next, and there's always something that we have to have more of. There's always something. And we have to identify that within ourselves and begin to address that and submit ourselves to the lordship of Christ rather than the lordship of addictive substances or addictive things or people. So if you've ever had something that has become more important to you than the church or Jesus or your family, your spouse, etc., those things just need to be either put in their proper place or need to be completely put aside, and we will be healthier for it. We will think more clearly. We will be more healthy. We will be more energetic. We will be able to refocus on the things that are very much most important. So what is the Coke for you? What is the Hostess cupcake and the Coke at the Walgreens? Is there something for you that you've really struggled with letting go of? And why is that? And how can we help pray for you in that? Please leave a comment if there's something you need prayed for about with that, because we really need some help to get out of that. It's really hard to do that alone. In Luke 11:24 and following, Jesus talks about casting out demons, that when a demon is cast out, it goes about in arid places looking for a host. And then whenever it arrives, it finds his house cleaned and swept and put in order, and so that it invites even more of its friends over. The thing I get out of that is that it's not just enough to cast a demon out. It's not just enough to take an addiction and toss it out. You cannot just leave your house empty. You have to fill it very purposefully and intentionally with the right things, with good things, with holy things, with the Lord, with scripture, with study, with prayer, with godly relationships, with accountability. Whenever we fill our lives with those things, we're filling that house up so that whenever the next addictive thing comes along, there's just no room for it. So I appreciate you watching. Again, please put in the comments if there's anything you need prayed about. Give this a thumbs up, and I really encourage you just to watch another video. I pray that it blesses you, and there's a lot here that you can learn and grow from. Take care, and we'll see you soon.